Good morning, everybody. There's a small delay there, I think, with the video played. Usually we have that video played. It looks like for a second or two that it didn't come through right away. But good morning. Is it Excel today, 9/28/2022? As you can see, Joe has turned into the bee once again. So it is. Anyway, the bee is back. Maybe forever. Today, we are going to be covering Smartsheets. We're going to give you, I guess, basically like an overview of Smartsheets. Because honestly, Joe, we have Smartsheet videos on our channel and everything like that. I know it's basically a cloud-based spreadsheet system, but beyond that, my knowledge of sheets is just that's it. That's all I know. I don't know much more than that. So hopefully I will learn a lot more today.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like the equivalent of like Microsoft Project. So it's mostly for project management where you could set baselines and get tasks completed. But yeah, there's so much to it. It's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite apps.
Yeah. And then I'll just jump into the updates, guys. I've been talking about courses for a long time now. A long time, actually, I feel like. But they are coming soon. I was just talking to the team over at YouTube on getting those set up. Those are going to be a lot different than how you've normally been seeing our videos. Essentially, all of our videos will be offered as courses, and I know one of the top things that everyone wants is ad-free training. There's going to be an option there so you can purchase the course, and it'll be the full course. So it's going to be like Excel beginner, intermediate, and advanced all in one. And you can purchase that as a single course ad free. So that'll be coming soon. And really soon though, I'm talking probably within a month, you guys should see those up and running. We are a very happy beta tester for this. We're one of the very first channels to be offering this. So we hope you guys enjoy it and hope you guys like it. It's actually going to be a completely different experience for you on YouTube. It's a different player, so it actually interacts different. So it's going to be, it's supposed to be geared towards learning. I don't know what changes they've made on that side. I can't wait to see what they are, but you'll definitely see it's going to be a completely different experience for you guys on YouTube. That's the best way I can put it. But we'll also have, we're also working on seeing if we can have the ad-free version of the courses whole like that. So you can also have it in that player experience as well. So that's what's upcoming. That's the big one. And then also, lastly, we should be having a little bit different type videos coming for you guys. You might have seen a couple of shorts for the professional development topics. We're going to be making those courses as well. So you'll see those videos pop up. And again, those are going to be more along the lines of time management, communication skills, emotional intelligence, mainly skills for new managers. We really do a great job of training new managers. We train tons of them every single month. So it'll give, if you guys have just got promoted as a manager or you're looking to become a manager, these are the skills that employers are looking for. These are literally the skills that clients tell us this is what our managers need. And, and then we've created the content around that. So it's all curated to get you guys ahead in the office in corporate America, so to speak. But with that, I'm going to hand it over to Joe and have him go over Smartsheets for us. Oh, you know what? I haven't done the mug, and I'm sure people might have saw me sip, but I have my Final Fantasy Tactics mug. This is, again, one of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, just a quick mug there. But yeah, Joe, it's all yours. The floor is yours.
All right. So yeah, today I thought I'd talk to you about Smartsheets. We'll just set up a very simplistic example of a Smartsheet and some of the features it has and how we can create dashboards from it. If we have time, maybe I'll even go through how we can create a form for gathering data. So we'll see. But with that said, let me share my screen.
Oh, yeah. I think I forgot to mention that the bee is back. All right. Well, here you go. It's all yours, Joe.
Yeah, just for a little bit. I'm working on some renovations and stuff, so. But yeah, let's talk about Smartsheets. So the first thing that we need to know when it comes to Smartsheets is it is an online software. If you've ever utilized, let's say, Microsoft Project, um, it's very equivalent to that. So being able to set up tasks, being able to track them, being able to set up resources, set baselines to make sure that your tasks are being complete in a timely fashion and getting the project done when it's supposed to be done. So a lot of use cases that I see for this are projects, and also a lot of construction companies will be utilizing this software. So it's really a good one. But to actually access it, you do need an account. So I'll just go to smartsheets.com here, and it's going to ask you to log in. Um, if you've never used Smartsheets before, feel free to try the free version here. You'll see try Smartsheets for free, but just know this is a paid version. I think I paid $12. Pricing is right up top here. So yeah, they have, oh, even better. Pro is $7 per user per month, and you can select your team size. If it's just one individual user, they'll say, well, Joe, then it's just $7 a month for you. And it kind of walks through what you have access to, which is a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have a lot. But if you're, doing an enterprise plan or maybe a business plan, you obviously get more buck for the bang, right? So, or bang for the buck. So with that said, let me log in here. I'm going to click into log in. I'll enter in my email address that I set up and my password. And there we go. So now this is what's known as the hub. This is your home. This is where you can see things that have been requested or notifications for you. So if you do have a notification where they're like, hey, Joe, I need you to complete a task, you can set up those alerts, which is another great feature of Smartsheets. And then over here, I'll just say what's suggested for me. I'll say, Joe, I noticed you were just working on this public schedule for 2022. You want to open it up again? So this is very much like your recents in Microsoft. Now, right away, I can just click the drop down and choose, if I want to create a new sheet, a form, a report, a dashboard, or even browse some of the templates that Smartsheets has for you. And if you click on this, browse templates, they actually have quite a few templates, and they're all split into great categories. Are you maybe in general management? They have a couple of templates for that. Are you in marketing? Are you working on a project? Are you in finance and accounting? But I'm just going to simply go to create, where I can create from scratch any of these, whether it's a grid, which is the most popular one that you're going to want to utilize, or maybe you want to create a form, gather data, which we may talk about today, or you'll see here reports and dashboards. Now, just so you know, these two do not work right away. You can't use these unless you already have data in a grid or a Gantt or a task list. So this is, you can pull a report from one of these, or you can create a dashboard with information from these. But you can't just click in a dashboard and expect it to work. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click into grid, and I'm going to name it. You can name it whatever you like. I'm probably going to name this one Fun with Joe. And click OK. Now, very similar, you could just click the X here on conversation. Very similar to Excel or Google Sheets. What you'll see here is a cell basis. So, for instance, we have columns right up top, and we have numeric rows on the side. So it works very similar in that location or that way of navigating Excel or Google Sheets. The one difference is there are something called column types. Now you can create any type of column you want. And if you click on it, you click on the ellipsis here, you can say, okay, let me edit some of the column properties, or you could just double click really quick. And you'll see that you can have a name for your column, the column type, which you'll see drop-down list, date, contact list, checkbox, symbols, and so on and so forth. And for your primary column, you'll see that you actually can't do anything here. You'll see the column type is locked. That's because the primary column by default has to be a text or a number. So typically what I do here is I'll put in a task. And then Ben, I don't know if you have your audio still on. I'm getting a lot of kickback. Oh, perfect. So yeah, on the primary column here, I can make it a task, I can make it a number, any type of text, but typically I'll do tasks here. So let's say that we want to sell some things. I'm going to call this my items. Now these could be, like I said, tasks, items, whatever you're trying to do. But for today's example, I'll just say, yeah, you know what? Let's do tasks. Let's have some fun with this. So I have a column for tasks. Now I may want another column here, and once again, I can name it whatever I want. But on column 2, I can actually pick what's going to go in here, what kind of data. So I'm thinking, well, I want to see who's assigned to it. Now, one of the best things about Smartsheets is you can connect it to your directory. So you can integrate with Microsoft, which means if I go to contact list, I can import all of my contacts from Microsoft. So anyone in my company, I could just start typing their name. So I'm going to call this assigned to. Now, if you don't have a contact list set up, no worries. You could just put their email in there and create new contacts. They also give you the option to allow multiple contacts per cell. I could say yes or no on this. And I can also search for those contacts. So you'll see I have a couple of fake contacts here. So I'll use my friend Ben. I can go with my friend Liz. And I can also add my friend Sammy. Now I can allow multiple contacts, maybe restricted to only this contact list. Sure. I'll turn that on. And then I'll click OK. For the third one, I might want to put in a start date. And of course, it's a date, so I'll put in date. And I'll restrict it to dates only and click OK. Same thing for here. I might want a due date. I'll select date, restrict it to dates. I only want dates in this column, and click OK. Maybe I also want to see the status of this column. Status. And I can use anything for this. I could do a drop-down list. I can do symbols if I wanted to. Symbols are always nice. You can use any of these symbols. Well, let's use this one. This looks good. I'll make something up with those. And then for this last one, I might do cost. And that will be a number. So I think I could just keep it at text or number. And we can do some formatting a little later with these. And I'll click OK. So I think this looks great. Now we can start inputting some things. Like, for instance, I might be coming up with some sort of business plan. So I might need, I don't know, maybe I'll say business plan. Make sure you spell business right. I'll do, for the business plan, I need to have our meetings. So let's say meeting. Or we'll say permits or plan. We can say meeting with board. We can say also part of this business plan is going to be, maybe it will be done. Let's do a marketing plan. Cost of marketing. We'll have a meeting. We'll do advertising, agency. And then we'll do a design plan. I'm just making this up as I go along. So we have to contact designer. We have to approve of design. And then we'll have a release plan. And the release plan will be, we'll do a demo release and then a version 1 release. So we have everything we need, and we have to figure out who's in control of these. So for these top ones, like the business plan, marketing plan, design plan, and the release plan, I'm going to say that that's going to be something that I'm in control of. So I'll just say, and I'll say this column is restricted to drop-down contacts. As a sheet admin, you can allow this change, and I'll allow it. So now over here, I'll say I'm in charge of the marketing plan as well. I'm in charge of the contact design, or the design plan. And then also the release plan. Now for the rest of these, maybe Ben's going to work on the permits. Maybe Liz will work on meeting with the board. I then have the cost of marketing is going to be Sammy. And Sammy's going to work with the advertising agency for that. The contact designer, I said, Ben, can you do that for me? And then approve of design is going to be me. And then for the demo, I'm going to have Liz on the demo. And for the version 1, I'll have Liz on that as well. And it looks great. Now that they're connected, you'll also notice that if, for instance, let's say this versioning 1 needed somebody else, I can always add someone new here by clicking Add New, and then they'll add the information. So now that I have this information, what we'll do is this. I'm going to put in the start dates. Now, the reason I made these into dates was because of the fact that, well, it pulls up that calendar, which I love. We'll make this simple just to go quickly. We'll say that for the start date for all of these plans, we're starting this project for next month, so on the 3rd. And you'll see it has like little pop-ups. You can create reminders, set alerts, things like that. So there is a lot of functionality in Smartsheets. Now what I'll do is I'll just simply put in the start dates for the rest of these. I'll say that this is the start date. And I'm obviously going to make it the same 10/3, 10/3. So you can use, very similar to like Google Sheets or Excel, you can use autofill to click and drag. Now you'll see that it just repeats it. If you did want it to go in some sort of sequence order, right, sequential order, you can hold the control key and then click and drag. And, you know, just anything that you like here if you want it to be sequenced, like I said. So pretty cool. As for the start date for marketing plan, we're going to do, let's say the marketing plan will take place after the business plan, like a week later. So on the 10th. Yeah, let's do, I think that's fine. And then for design plan, we'll say that's going to be 2 weeks later on the 24th. And then for the release plan, we'll say that's going to start on, let's do the demo on the 31st. And then, of course, the first version will come out somewhere in November. We'll say the 7th. Now, the due dates for all of these are always going to be a week. So I'll just put those as a week from whatever it was. So the 3rd, we'll say was due on the 7th. The 10th was due on the 14th. And then the 24th was due on 28th. The release plan was due on the day. So we'll just say that we were supposed to start it, the demo, and release it the same day. And then this version was released on the 7th. I think that looks great. Okay. And maybe, yeah, that's fine. Now we can start going into status. So maybe we've been starting the business plan, or maybe it's been completed. So I'm going to use green for completed. For the marketing, we're actually starting it. So I'll say yellow for like in progress. We'll say that this cost was completed, but we're in progress on that. So that's why this is in progress. For the design plan, that one's been started as well. So we'll say in progress. in progress. We haven't actually approved the design yet, so we're going to put that as gray. But let's say we contact a designer and they're not available. They're on vacation. So we'll say on hold for this one. So the design plan is on hold. We didn't even start the approval of the design, so that's gray. We'll say not approved. For the release plan, we haven't started any of this, and this is all autofillable. Now that we have this here, we'll put in some fake costs as well. The business plan cost us $500 to get everyone together. So we'll say the permits for the plan were about $250, and then the actual meeting was $250. The marketing plan is going to cost us about $2,000, and the cost of marketing was going to be, we had a budget of $1,500, and we can use $500 for the advertising agency. One of my favorite things about Smartsheets, by the way, is this. It tells you, it's been 10 minutes, you should save this. You can click save. Design plan is going to cost us about $4,500. The contact of the designers is going to cost us $50 just for a meeting with them. And then we're giving, we'll say $44.50 for the overall cost. And then the release plan is going to be another $1,000. The demo itself, we maybe bought a place to do the demo for, I don't know, $750, and then $250 for the other one. Now, of course, you're more than welcome to change the way this looks. You'll see here there is an ellipsis, and there's more formatting options here. So I can format all of this as a currency. And you can pick different currencies: US dollar, Brazilian, Canada dollar, the yen. So now that we have this, I want to show you just a couple more functionalities. The first one is hierarchy. This is based off of hierarchy because these two plans here are the children of this parent plan. And I do recommend doing hierarchies like this. It allows you to keep things a lot more, I would say, safe or structured for that work structure. So I'll select these two, right? And you can select all of them, or you could just select these two, whatever you like. You can even move between a list. And I'm going to make this indented. So I'm indenting this, so when I click like that, you'll see here, now I have an expansion or a collapsation here. And these two are now living under business plan. I'll just make this a little bigger there. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to indent. Same thing here, indent. And same thing here, indent. So if I just need an overview of my full plan, I can now just close all of these to see what my plan is. I have a business plan, a marketing plan, a design plan, and a release plan. It works really perfectly. Another thing that's really nice here is we can use different conditional formattings. So let's say somebody's wondering, well, Joe, what is the status? What do these dots mean? I can actually click on here, click the ellipsis, add a column description, and I could say something like green is equal to completed. I can say that red is equal to on hold. Yellow means in progress. And gray is equal to not started. That way people know exactly what this is. So they're wondering, what's green mean? They can come up here and see, oh, green equals complete, red. Okay, perfect. And it gives them more of a description. And you can do that for any of these. Another thing is conditional formatting. Let's say that anytime we complete something, we want to cross it off here because it's completed. Or maybe we just want the whole thing to go green to show that it's been completed. So when we pick a status to do this, we can just use conditional formatting. And it's pretty simple. I actually really love the Smartsheets conditional formatting. Now, if you don't know what conditional formatting means, it just simply means based off of a condition or a criteria, the formatting, which means appearance, of the cells change. So let's say that anytime this is changed to green as completed, the whole thing turns green. So I'm going to click conditional formatting, click add rule, And the first thing it's going to say is, what's the condition? Well, if the status is green. So I'm going to say set condition. If status is green, click OK. So if the status is green, apply this formatting. Now you click on this formatting. You choose what you want. I want a light green. Yeah, that looks good. And then maybe a dark green text. Maybe a lighter green. There we go. Ooh, that looks great. I want it to look like this and even bold it. And then it's going to say, do you want to do this for the entire row? Or you can pick and choose what you want to affect. I want the entire row, so I think this looks good, and I'll click OK. And look at that. It looks great. Anytime I change something to completed, green, it turns it green. All right. So now I can do that for the other ones as well if I wanted to. Let's say I want, when it's gray, for it to stay like this, so I won't affect it. But if it's, red, I want to definitely see this. I'll just go back to conditional formatting and just add another rule. If the status is red, I'll click OK. Then format it with maybe a nice light red with a dark red text. I'll click OK. So now we can start to color code these. If it's on hold, right, we want to, or if it's in progress, if the status is set to yellow, I want you to format it with a light yellow and a dark yellow text. So everything is now color coded. It looks great. I'm ready to go. And one of the other things before I leave you here today that I want to share with you is the ability now to pull this into a report or a dashboard. You do have that ability. Not only that, but this is just one view of the many that we have. We have grid view. We have a Gantt view that gives us a Gantt chart with this, which is really nice, where you could set baselines. You can start to also add resource management, so add your resources. But do note that some of these, you do need to have a business account, so you would have to upgrade your account. We also have a card view, which is one of my favorites, where we can put it in some sort of like card system, and we can still, it's all functional. I can still move things over. But look, it's actually doing it by red, yellow, green, gray. I can also view the status by who it was assigned to. So I could see what was Ben assigned, what was Liz assigned, what was Sammy assigned, what was I assigned. I can change it to calendar view, where you can either view just the start date or display a start and due date. And look at that. Really amazing. So you can see this on the calendar view. You can upload it, integrate it with your Outlook calendar, or even your Gmail, your Google Calendar. So a lot of great little features here. But with that said, that is just a quick little overview of Smartsheets. There's so much more to it. You can automate it. You can create forms to gather data. You can create reports, dashboards. You can do if statements if you needed to. So we can even write in here equals if. They do have functions. So that's pretty amazing. And we can go over some of this more stuff maybe in the next session, our next episode. It's up to you. If you find this content really awesome and you want to see more on Smartsheets, let us know in the comments, and then we'll do another show on this next week. I'll even keep all of this so we can use it for next week. But with that said, yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Joe. Now I finally see the power of Smartsheets, because I was just like, I always knew that it was a cloud-based spreadsheet system, but it really fits right into, like if you use Agile or Scrum, this is like the perfect program to use for you, especially if you're trying to integrate spreadsheets with it, because man, that card view goes right into it. It sets you all up. That's like that's a Scrum board right away. It's just the way you can code it and everything like that. And
exactly.
That's pretty. Actually, it's pretty. I'm surprised it's not used more heavily, but it's not Excel, right? So
yeah, exactly.
But it does have and it obviously I could see some limitations on some of the cells and stuff like that. But it really, the power really is that project management aspect of it. Did not know it had that at all. But anyways, I wish we had time for questions, but we are at time, and I know Joe has to teach in a few minutes here, so we're going to wrap it up real quick here. Man, I had something else I wanted to say, and I cannot remember what it is. But remember, we have our premiere. We have a double premiere this on Friday. There's the offsite event that's going to be a live class. And then we have our regular video premiere on Friday as well. I should know what it is, but I've been so deep into reviewing a project for a client that I cannot think of any of the stuff off the top of my head, because I've just been watching their videos, just making sure that they're all perfect and everything like that. But with that said, just going to wrap it up, guys. Remember, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, comment below. It really helps us out a lot. And we will see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.